Good day everyone. My name is Opeodosheson from CADGIS. On today's lecture, I'll be teaching you how to create your own environment template and make it a permanent environment template. Let's get started. Before I get started, everybody knows about creating an environment in AutoCAD, because that will be one of the prerequisites for us getting this a permanent environment done. Yeah, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to launch my AutoCAD. I've already have it launched. Then what I'm going to do now is to press Ctrl N. What I'm going to do now is, and I'll click on the Start Drawing. I'll click on the Start Drawing. I'm using AutoCAD 2021. And if you are using a lower version or a higher version, you can just press Ctrl N to create an environment. Then the next thing now to do now is that I will advise you to create to set an environment in AutoCAD. Then I'm very sure that by now everybody will have known how to create an environment in AutoCAD, because I've already made a tutorial on how to create an environment in AutoCAD. Because creating an environment in AutoCAD is one of the first things to do as an AutoCAD user. I'm not going to create an environment in AutoCAD now. I want to set the limit. Setting the limit by tapping it. I will set the lower left corner 0,0 0,0 enter. For 20, I'm going to use a millimeter scale unit. Then after setting the AutoCAD limit now, another thing to do is to set the AutoCAD unit by tapping unit. If you are using a lower version AutoCAD, like starting from AutoCAD 2007 to 2010, you can just go to your format, select your format, and you see the drawing limit, and under the format options, and you can also set the unit icon from the format. Then I've already typed unit on this high version AutoCAD, because like I said at one of the first AutoCAD tutorial I made, I said AutoCAD software is a software that have more than hundreds of commands. Then each word of each alphabet in AutoCAD has a meaning. That's why I'm tapping unit. Then from this now, what I'm going to do now, I can just go ahead and set the precision, and I'll let it be a whole number. Then the insertion of the scale, I will let it be a millimeter. Then I will click on the direction of which it will be clockwise. Then I will now go to the setting the base angle by clicking on the notch and OK. Then another thing is that you in some field whereby when it is matter, they go ahead and set the angle under the type and other thing. But let me say that I'm a structural student or any other. Let me see all these a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer. If I'm an electrical engineer or mechanical engineer, I don't need to set an angle. I think so. But if I'm a surveying student or a planning student or any field that deal with using of angle, you can just go ahead and set the angle of the angle from here. But if you don't have anything to do with that, then just go ahead and press OK. Then once you do that, after setting my unit, what I'm going to do now to finalize the setting of the environment is by typing on the Z, enter, A, enter. Then now after this, then I can now go ahead. I'm going to advise you, if you have another thing to do, like whereby creating layers. You can go ahead and create layer, edit layer. Then the another thing now I'm going to do, because I can always create a layer on a long run, maybe if I want to create another it depends on what I'm going to do. And what I'm not going to do now is that I will have to set my dimension style. They're clicking on my dimension style, and once I set this my dimension style, and then anytime I'm going to work now, I don't have to set it again. I will just set one for us. Then any environment, if I will just be picking this environment, then picking it the way anytime I like. You might go ahead and create an environment that will be in a millimeter environment, or an inch, or it's based on the scale, this kind of scale unit you want. So let me just go there now. I will now click on the modify. I'm not going to create new. I'll just click on modify, then go to modify. Then I can now go ahead and make any correction, adjustment I want to do. By the color type and the line weight, I always like it to be by layer. Then the extent of the thickness, since I'll be working with millimeter, then I would prefer it to be, let me say, 120 millimeter. Then the color extents by layer, the line type extent 1 by layer, then everything to be by layer. Then the extent beyond the dimension, the extent beyond the dimension, let it be maybe, let me say, 150 mm. Then the offset from the original point, let me also let it be 150 mm. Let me now go to the symbol. Then under the symbol, you can go ahead. I've already made a tutorial concerning how to create a dimension style. If you haven't watched it, you can just go back to my YouTube channel and go and check the numbers of videos I've made, and you can just choose the one you want that you like to watch. But moreover, these dimension styles, I've already made a tutorial on it. Then let me go to the first dimension, the first head arrow. I will click on the theoretic. Then the ladder, let it be oblique. Then I prefer this. Then the arrow size, the size of the arrow. Let me choose 180 mm. Then I can now go ahead and go to the text type. You can also go ahead and go to the text type by checking the text style. I can go like this by clicking on this small box. Then under the small box, click on the font name. Let me choose Cosmics. Yes, it's Cosmics. Yes, I can't remember if I'm right. Yes, Cosmic stand MS. Then there is now. Then I will now go to. I would prefer it to, if you want to change the first style, go ahead and click. But I prefer it to be in as a regular. Then the size is more important. I just think that I just like the fonts of the text. Then let me choose let me just put 200 mm. Okay, then I will click on set the current. Then this current, yes, okay, yes. Then now we just go close. So I click on close. You see now, so everything. You can see now, we can see from the notification part here. Then I can now just go ahead and suppress my primary units. My primary units is under the precision. I will now click on this, choose one like this. I'll delegate. Then I'll now go ahead from there now. Then I can now. Is there anything to do? Yes, I've already extended let me go to the line. I've already extended beyond the dimension line. Then I need to extend beyond the thick line also. Let me just selected 150 mm here. Let me also put 150 mm here. You see the change. Yes, I think it's better like this. Then I can now close. However, as it is now, I'm already done with creating environment in AutoCAD now. Then the next thing, the magic aspect now I want to do now is this. I need your attention here. What am I going to do now? I'm going to press Ctrl S to save. Once I press Ctrl S to save, then if you see now automatically, if you newly install your, or the default of your AutoCAD saving destination is always be your document. From there now, if you type any name now, automatically it's going to save into your into your document. But one thing, I understand something. What I'm going to do, because I said we're going to modify an environment and create our home permanent environment. Then I will now come to the files, the files of the type. Now the files of the type, now I will select AutoCAD drawing. You can see AutoCAD drawing template. Once I click on AutoCAD drawing template, now just try and observe. You see automatically it changed. When I click on AutoCAD drawing template, it moved from the from the document destination and now go back to template. Then now from AutoCAD template, I can now write a name. I can go and name it this newly AutoCAD environment that I created by putting, let me say, a modifier. It can be anything you like. Let me just put modified. It is millimeter, yes. Millimeter. Environment. Then I can now go just click on save. Then once I click on save, then under the measurement, that can, let it be metric. When I click metric, then the new layer modification always be it's always been on save all the layer as unreconciled. When I have selected, I choose what's called save all the layer as reconciled. Then one select and then I'll press OK. Then now we can now get started. Now that if you look up now, that you can see, if you look here from the top of the dashboard, you see AutoCAD 2021. That you see user Chasima, have data local the Autodesk AutoCAD 2021 R24 NU in English. Then the template, the modified millimeter environment. Then now from here now you are already done with creating and modifying a default environment and creating a permanent environment. Then what we're going to do is that you can just go ahead and by selecting a new environment by typing Ctrl+N or pressing Ctrl+N, you can see our modify environment. Now this is a modify millimeter environment. Once I click on modify millimeter environment, I want to press open now. See now. Then now anytime you want to, if you click open now, then I can now go, let me just create a rectangle box. This is a rectangular box now. Then let me just okay, and let me just put a very small unit, a very small dimension. Let me put let me say 20. Don't forget that we are working with millimeters. Let me just put let me say 20 millimeter, which is 20 meter by let me say 15 millimeter, 15,000 millimeter, or so 15,000 millimeter, but 20,000 millimeter by 15,000 millimeter, and I press enter. Then now let me now press Z, that is to zoom, and press or as it is, and Z, enter, and press E to zoom it to an extent. Then I can just, then now what I'm going to do is just let me go and select my dimension, so that you can now see now my dimension line. I'll break the first line. You see, you can just, because we have already set, you see now, there's no way how you are starting, there's no way you are creating a new environment. You created a new environment in AutoCAD and it has this format being this way, like when you have a normal dimension, dimension properties like this, it's not possible unless you need to do it, or you have a dimensions that you have already copied from other place to this environment. Then this is the easier way to create your own environment template, and ensure you can just go ahead and click. You can arrange everything from the beginning. Then what you just have to do now, you don't need to be by setting unit or setting AutoCAD environment anytime you need to use it. Once you create this environment, once you create this template, now you can just anytime you want to use it, just press Ctrl N. Automatically it will have on the modify millimeter environment. Let me just say, let me close this AutoCAD. You see now what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to save this. Let me close so that you will know understand what I'm trying to say. Though now, then let me relaunch my AutoCAD. Loading. But however, please kindly subscribe to our channel, please, because without you I won't be able to do all these things. But your subscriptions and your comments make me to be doing a video often. Then let's just go to start a new drawing. Okay, yes, let's start a new drawing. I just go ahead and start it. Let me just try this now. Create a regular rectangle. Let me just choose for me. Let me put which one should, okay, let me just use 5000 millimeter by 4500 millimeter. So let me just go ahead and go and select my dimension. Let me see if it will work. So yes, it works. You see how I just go ahead and press start environment, but there's no way out in AutoCAD environment, and this thing you have a very befitting startup like this. It's not until you go ahead and set it or anything. You can also go ahead and do the same thing to by creating a new type of unit, either by creating a millimeter, which is one is a millimeter. You can go and create a meter in an inch, any other kind of format you need. Kindly subscribe to our channel. Bye for now. I still remember myself, upload the session from CAD GIS. See you till next time.